This is the My Writing Diary podcast. I'm Bill Wong. I'm planning to finish my first draft within the next 4 to 6 weeks. I can do it if I write 1,000 words a day, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the research is slowing me down. For example, I'm writing a section about a Jordanian envoy who walks into the Israeli embassy to sell plans for the war. I don't know anything about the embassy, where it is, or what it looks like. The other challenge I'm having is I didn't realize I was using method writing to author my novel. You're probably familiar with method acting, a technique of acting in which an actor aspires to have a complete emotional identification with the part. Method acting was developed in institutions such as the Actors Studio in New York City, notably by Kazan and Lee Strasberg, and is particularly associated with actors such as Marlon Brando and Dustin Hoffman. Thus, method writing is a technique a writer uses to get under the skin of a character and identify with their emotions and struggles. Method acting promotes empathy and a genuine reaction over scripted planned stories with fixed outlines and goals. When I write, I try to feel the emotions of my character. I desire to feel, smell, hear, and taste what they're experiencing so I could use words to paint the story. I read a book a few weeks ago about American soldiers who served and fought in the Iraq War. They didn't hold back about their experiences, what they saw, what they did, and how it affected them after the war. And a few days after I read their accounts, I sat down and I just started crying, and I couldn't stop myself. At this point, I've written my introduction, the devil's bargain toward the end, and the aftermath of the war. It's disheartening, yet satisfying. I'm writing the middle section immediately before the war and the war itself. I've been researching weapons and cyber attacks and listening to the Irregular Warfare podcast and the Modern Warfare podcast. Since I'm not ex-military, learning the language, systems, and thinking of the military is a challenge. I feel comfortable with moving forward. Many have said that I've picked a difficult topic and storyline, and they're right. This is important to me. I'm going to read a little bit of a section I just wrote the other day. I love the smell of burning flesh and hair, Benjamin Cohen often said. The embers glow softly, their warmth imperceivable. When the embers catch a breath of air, often they die, other times they awaken. The dried twigs and leaves encourage them to life to become a flickering flame. They consume the kindling, and their tentacles reach ever upward. Shadows dance against the trees and shrubs, and the air crackles. Hungry and insatiable, the blaze devours everything in its path. The inferno defies boundaries, and after feeding, it leaves only death and ash in its wake. The person who thinks like that is a sick individual. And when he becomes the Prime Minister of Israel, he will have the nuclear codes and full discretion to use them. That is the ultimate fire. I equate power to fire. The more you have, the more it consumes until it consumes everything in its path and nothing is left. I attended a conference where a leader demonstrated his need for power and what he would do to retain power. He used a system to delay and manipulate voters with scare tactics. I copied the tactics I witnessed at the conference and molded them to a fictitious Israeli prime minister election. And though women are the heroes in my novel, they are brutalized by the system, institutions, and the current power brokers who do not want to relinquish their influence. This is Bill Wong. See you on the pages.